were some notable omissions from the offense based on graduating. How do you feel about the guys who are going to be stepping up into the bigger roles on the offense?
Yeah, well, I think when you talk about our offense, it starts off, especially in the last year or so, with Shea Brown who returns, and as we all know, it makes things easier, if you will, when your quarterback is back and he understands the system, understands the approach, and has as much success as he has had here in the last year. Both our running backs are returning. They give us a tremendous edge in our run game. With Aaron Harris and Jake Mayon. 3 of our 5 offensive linemen return, so we're excited about that. Harris Woods, in regards to our receiving core, also returns, who saw significant experience with great success for us last season. Some guys that have really stepped up that we're excited to see in our receiving core. Julian Crump from St. Rita's High School in Chicago. I think he's got blazing speed. He's got a great approach as he plays the position. He's going to bring an excitement level to the perimeter for us, which we all know we need. Geronte Lewis returns. We move from quarterback to receiver. We'll continue to grow within the position, and I think he's going to also do some great things for us. We have a young man named Walter Jackson, who I think is going to do a tremendous job for us as well. To name a few, Nick Barnes and John Washington. That group is probably the deepest in regards to our positions for us as a football team. We probably got about 9 guys that we think can play significant roles for us during the course of the season. So it's deep. I think Coach Knight does a great job coaching those guys. We've lost some players, there's no doubt about it. But I think whenever you're building a program and you're at a point where we think we are now, you're going to always lose players to graduation that move on and do great things. So we feel good about the guys who will be taking some of the Marcus Tuckers and Kyle Stewart roles over, if you will.
Harris Woods came on really strong at the end of last year, and I know you guys are going to rely on him a lot this year. What do you think are some of his best attributes as a player?
Well, I think Paris's best attribute is his consistency. His approach every day stays the same. There is no roller coaster with Paris. You can always rely on him. He is a great worker. He's a mature young man. His father's arguably one of the greatest players to ever play here, in Jerry Woods, who played here in the 80s and then had a stint with the Lions and the Packers. So he's got pedigree, and he's a playmaker. So when the game's on the line, he's making plays. So we're excited for Paris as he approaches his senior season.
And you mentioned the 2 running backs coming back, Aaron Harris, Jake Mayon. Do you think this position is as strong as it's been in your tenure here?
Well, I don't think there's any question that I think we've had some good players, but I think these 2 guys are special. And one's a junior, with Aaron Harris being a junior, Jake Mayon being a sophomore. I think their approach to the game is really special. It's hard for me to get involved in comparing from year to year because it's a different team, really, frankly, surrounding these guys. But both those players are guys you want. They're great students in the classroom. I think Jake Mayon was in the 3.7 or 3.8. Aaron Harris, who had a tough fall, had over a 3-point in the spring. They're reliable. They're no maintenance. They work hard in the weight room. They're really great vision. They're physical. So it's hard for me to compare. I know I'm not answering your question, but we're really excited to have both those guys in the fold.
Many are saying that Shea Brown could be the best quarterback in the conference. What has it been like for you to watch his evolution, specifically last year where he just broke out in a big way, and he's got one more year to really put himself on the map?
Yeah, well, guys, I think it's important for us to realize that he's a kid, he's a college kid, he's a senior, and I really want him to enjoy his senior year and just go out there and play. So to put kind of these pressures that he's going to be the greatest quarterback, all that stuff, that takes care of itself. If he continues to work the way he has, process the information the way he has, and just go about his day-to-day process, he's going to have a great senior season, and the rest will take care of itself. For me, as the head coach, who also coaches the quarterbacks, coordinates the offense, right? It's been a tremendous sense of accomplishment to see a young man that was a freshman who wasn't heavily recruited, who came to Northern Michigan and really wanted to fit in and do some things, and then was fluxed into the starting role with we had 2 quarterbacks go down that year, so he was our 3rd quarterback. And the way he's gone about just growing up has been amazing to watch. It's been a pleasure to be around him. He's going to be a great success when he leaves Northern Michigan, and I'm excited that he's our quarterback. He's here, and see where it goes.
Last year, Coach, you told us that you don't put any stock in the polls at all, but this year is really surprising to a lot of us that you guys are picked 7th. Were you surprised at that, and were the guys,
Yeah.
at all? Or?
I think my statement is going to be really easy with that. Clearly, it wasn't judged on performance from last year. It clearly wasn't based on where we sit now in regards to who we have returning, and that's going to be all I'm going to say.
You guys are starting week 1 on the road. What goes into a game plan? Obviously, seeing that you're going to have to, you spend this time practicing here, but you're going to have to go elsewhere for week 1.
We open up on the road in Ohio, so it's a long trip. I live here in college, and when you play in this league and you play on the road, it's tough to win games. We understand that. We've had a really very competitive 10 practices heading into today, and we really just want to take one day at a time to ensure we're doing the little things to get ourselves prepared to play in the opener. In regards to game plan and things, it's an unknown because it's always week 1. I just want to make sure we understand the significance of going on the road and becoming 1-0. Nothing else matters, not what happens after that week, not what happens here as we talk about whether we're going to be a good team or not. We need to mentally be prepared to play that game on the road, and that's kind of the focus.
A number of first-year guys on your coaching staff, how they've kind of blended in.
Yeah, I think we've had some change. We've had some guys leave some great programs, and we're excited for them. I think when you look at DJ Perkle, who took John Brella's job, he's a young, tough guy. He's a blue-collar guy, and I'm thrilled the way he goes about his work. I think our players have really responded to DJ, who came from Western Michigan, where he has divisional pedigree, was in bowls and all those things. I think when you talk about David Correo coming from the Miami Dolphins and seeing his kind of understanding of going from the NFL and being an NFL guy, coaching at the highest level, to coming here to Northern Michigan, he's really brought a tremendous amount of just stability and calm, if you will, within our players, that whether we're having a good day or bad day, we'll figure it out. And I think that's been really exciting. And then Glenn Davis, who is also a new addition to our staff. Ryan Beard went off to Western Kentucky, so he went for a Division I job as well. I think he brings a real consistency to the position as well. He was a Division I defensive back, went and played in the NFL briefly, was in the CFL as a player as well, and has some Division I experience coaching at Youngstown State where he coached the corners. So again, there's substance to the teaching for our players. It's been awesome. It's been seamless. It's been easy. I think the culture that we have as a staff, and Coach Maslowski, who's back for his 4th season, Coach Moss for his 5th season, Coach Knight for his 5th season, really helps in understanding the way we go about caring about one another and putting the players and the team first and all those kind of things. So it's been new, but it hasn't been nearly as hard or as challenging as I thought it might have been.
There were some changes in the schedule this year. You got Angelo State, the second game. Do you think that's a benefit, the changes that were made?
Well, I don't think there's any question. I think we worked hard on trying to create a schedule that kind of makes us relevant. And I don't think there's anybody that can argue that this is as tough as anyone in America that's playing on Division II level. We're playing the League Conference, so we'll probably play 3, if not 4, top 20 teams in America. And then we'll cross over with an Angelo State team who's a possible top 20 team in America. So I think at the end of this thing, if we're successful, we find the success that we know we're aiming for. I don't think anyone can say, well, they play. And I think that's always something you battle. So I'm excited to have Angelo here and not have to go to San Antonio right now and play in 100-degree heat. Don't worry about that in 17. But it should be a great home opener for our home fans. To give them a chance to see 2 top teams play, it should be a great deal. So I am excited about our schedule, and I'm excited to play Angelo.
Any new transfers you see making an impact this fall?
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think we've got some new guys that have transferred in. Walter Jackson being we've got some junior college guys, Kaden Clark on the D-line, Quentin Del Rey, who plays defensive back. We've got a young man, a prep school student, named Michael Incolati, who comes from London, England, who's got a chance to do some things for us as well, wide receiver. To name a few, like I said, I think we didn't want to build this program on transfers, on junior college players. So we've kind of dabbled, but we haven't full fluxed. Tried to bring in 20, 25 a year and hope to get lucky with 5. We really handpicked the guys that we thought we needed to have them come in. I think we return a lot of guys that have put a lot of work into this program, that are anxious to play and take their role head on, if you will, moving forward.
How have the local guys, the UP guys like Scott Tripp, Brett Anderson, Jacob Ford, how have they impressed you just of their work ethic in their first year?
Yeah, I think if we look at our local guys, and all for me, always start with Jerry Buxton. He is an unbelievable asset to our program. He'll be a 4-year starter. His motor never stops. He was elected by his peers, by players as captain. Gladstone, a kid who's just done a tremendous job. And then, as it trickles down, and you talk about all our local guys, for me, they're Wildcats. I don't look at a guy and say, boy, he's a Marquette kid, and we need for me, it doesn't matter where they're from, it doesn't matter who they are. They're going to embrace this program and buy into our culture and work as hard as they can, and they have done that. And I'm thrilled to have the guys we have. It's been great to see some of our local guys really pan out and play great football for us.
So you've had 10 practices here, Coach, to kind of see the strengths of the guys, but what do you see as the biggest challenges with them and with, the schedule coming up this year?
I think, I think it's a double-edged sword. There's a couple things. I think when you talk about preparing for a schedule like we have, in the level of play we play, there are no games where you can circle those and say, if we just show up, we'll win. We're going to have to execute and play. We're going to do good things every single week in and week out. I don't know if that's a concern, but it's for me a fact. I think as we go into my 5th year in the program, I think in every tangible way that you can measure this program, we're a better place right now than it was my first day. But it's time for us to win significantly, for me, to feel good about where we're headed. I think we've got great players who deserve it. And I think when you're dealing with a college scholarship program, a community like we have, a great college campus, there's always 2 edges to the sword. So the first 2 years, 3 years, we heard about how bad we were, and when you start doing things like that. Now, our quarterback is being told he's going to be the greatest quarterback in the history of the school. So you want to just keep it even. You just want to kind of stay the same every day and not deal in the noise, whether it's really positive or really negative. And lucky enough for us, the noise have gone from being negative to really positive. It's been just an unbelievable flux of support from our alumni, from our faculty. Everybody's excited for the season. But at the end of the day, it's about the work. So I want to make sure we stay grounded and stay committed to the work moving forward. So those are some of the things that have been kind of keeping me up at night a little bit. What else we've got, guys?
But overall, do you think the program has, like you said when you started, people were talking about, that you guys were a losing team, but now you've really shown. Do you think this is the best buzz around the program that you've heard from
Since
the
I've
community?
been here, if there's any question, it's been a fun 6 months, 7 months, but it's been. I think we were a pretty good football team last year. That everyone's aware could have easily been a 9-2 team, 10-1 team in reality. And I think whenever you look at 10-1 teams, you look at, they won that one by a point, they won that one by a point. And I think we've done that. Here's what we didn't do. We didn't say, hey guys, we're 16, 17, 18 points away from being 10-1. Let's just continue to think we have all the answers. So we went out and tried to tweak and change, bring some quality young coaches in, and do some things that I think put a little bit more juice in that locker room and kind of change the approach. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And at the same time, staying completely committed to the blueprint that was put in place 5 years ago now, when I took this challenge on. We're excited about being Wildcats. There's tremendous pride in being part of this thing right now, and I think we continue to ride the wave. The best days are ahead of us, to say the least.
All right, let's start off talking about defense. Obviously, it's a new defense, and you guys had to learn a little bit. How's it been, that transition, those 10 fast days of practice, but how are you guys getting it?
I think it's gone very well so far. We work a lot with everything in walkthroughs, practices, and I think everyone's picking up on everything pretty well so far.
What's been the hardest adjustment to that defense?
I'd say just the terminology. You know, it's for the most part a lot of the concepts are the same, but learning the new terminology has been a little difficult, I'd say.
Let's talk offense. You guys are pretty efficient last year. Shea, how you feeling going into the season?
Feeling pretty confident as a unit. We're looking to outdo ourselves again. Stay consistent, stay efficient. That's the goal.
Shea, you've been called by some people the best quarterback in the GLIAC. How's it make you feel? Do you feel like there's some extra pressure on you now, or doesn't bother you at all?
Not really. Not really. I know I have a lot of good guys around me, so that's what really helps. I know that even if I'm having a bad game, guys like Jake Mayon, Harris, or Julian Crum are going to step up. So no, I'm not really looking for personal accolades. I'd rather have a winning season.
You got a lot of young wide receivers. How would you describe this group?
Athletic, fast, good hands. We've got to catch up some new guys to learn the system and the offense. There's a lot of the finer points of it are kind of tough to remember, to learn. But I think they're coming along really well. They're athletic, make plays. I trust every one of them.
And you got Paris Woods coming back. I know you're probably expecting big things from him. Describe him as a player.
Big physical kid, athletic, can run, jump, great hands, won't drop a pass on you. You know, he's pretty much everything you want in a receiver.
You guys are really tough when it comes to practices, but there are those moments when everything's really loose and the music is bumping and stuff. How important is it for you guys to have that, those times where you guys are a little laid back in the practice?
Well, you gotta have fun. If you're not having fun, then what are you doing? Like, football's fun. You gotta love what you do. When you're having fun, you're top 5.
We asked Paris, the community seems to be, there's a buzz around your program this year that you guys are built towards something. How do you feel about that? How does it make you guys feel this year? You guys are popular.
It feels really good to have the community back you up. It's nice. It helps bring people to the dome. It's just a great feeling when you come into the play.
The coaches poll didn't reveal the same kind of buzz. When you guys look at that, give you guys extra motivation?
All the experts know it all.
Right?
They know.
Well, it's the experts, right?
That's how we strong.
Would it bother you guys at all, or do you just kind of shrug it off and it doesn't
No,
matter?
shrug it off. Shrug it off. Like, they're not going to be on the field playing with us. They're not practicing with us. They're not up in the morning lifting with us.
Obviously, you guys were so close in so many games last year. You got Shea coming back. You guys are all back. Some good experience there. What are your expectations this year? How good do you think this team
To be like Erie. That's the expectation.
Our expectation is to win the first game.
Having to go on the road, you guys got a lot of youth. What are you guys, older guys, telling these younger guys, being like, hey, we got a long trip, but you have to be ready for that first game?
I like to think we're an old, experienced team, so these road trips can be a grind, but I think we'll be able to take the young guys under the wing and show them how to get it done on the road.
Speaking of that, I guess if each of you could just talk about being named a captain, and it's something that's voted on by everyone else on the team. I guess if each of you could talk about what it was like to be named a captain for the upcoming season by your peers.
It means a lot. And I think just coming from being a freshman and then just seeing a program develop and then seeing all the guys grow, and then having so many leaders that are seniors and juniors, being elected to be one of the 4 it's an honor. It's something I take very seriously, and I think the other guys do as well.
It's something I do not take lightly. It's a blessing. We all have like hundreds of leaders. We have leaders in every class. But it's a blessing that the players picked us to be the people that go out for the coin toss.
That's a very good